So what makes me cranky about Moana? That old bit where somebody storms off in a huff and then returns to save the day at the last minute. We've been doing this since at least the original Magnificent Seven. You're not fooling anybody anymore. So it's just kind of irritating rather than heartbreaking that our heroes have just decided to part ways just as the end of their epic quest begins. We know they're coming back, so just stop doing it already. Other than that, though, there's really not that much to complain about with Moana. It's a fun flick with a unique look and some great music. Pretty much exactly what we used to expect from Disney. Of course, this is the girl power era, so naturally our main character is a female again, but at least this one isn't a Mary Sue who can single-handedly destroy dudes 10 times her size and otherwise humiliate every other member of the cast by being better at whatever they do on her first try. Instead, Moana makes the radical decision to have its protagonist actually have to learn things and overcome weaknesses in one area with talents in another. Who could have imagined that could work, huh? She's still a chosen one, as is typical for the standard hero's journey she's on, but at least it's heavily implied that she was chosen for her actions and her strength of character, rather than simply picked at random or because of her royal heritage or something like that. And I like that the movie seemed to make it a point on several occasions to mitigate that whole special snowflake thing. Speaking of special, Moana's got the best animal sidekick since Abu from Aladdin. It's this stupid cross-eyed chicken called Hey, which is apparently played by Alan Tudyk of Firefly fame. But since Hey doesn't actually talk, you'd never know that. But in any case, Hey provides most of the humor for the movie, and even though it's really dumb Three Stooges-esque physical comedy, it still had me laughing quite a bit because it's just really well executed. And so did Dwayne Johnson's character Maui, by the way. I mean, it's The Rock, so it's not like playing a smart-ass demigod is much of a stretch for him, but they gave him a pretty good gimmick in that he has this little mini-me of himself in his tattoos that moves around and interacts with him. Put together, Maui and his tattoos are a lot like the Carpet Genie combo, where you've got this big, bombastic, animated guy, and then his silent partner kind of shaking his head from time to time. And it's just a lot of fun. Even though he does kind of overshadow Moana herself at times, it's not to the point of sidelining her character. It's also impressive that Auli'i Carvalho holds her ground so well up against a guy with as much natural charisma as Johnson, considering Moana's apparently her first role. I wasn't surprised that she could sing, but I was surprised The Rock can. I guess this isn't news to people who used to follow Dwayne Johnson's wrestling career, but I figured if they gave him a musical number, it was going to be more of a talking rap or autotune kind of thing. But nope, they gave him plenty of notes to belt out in his jazzy little "You're Welcome" number, and he hits them just fine. Which brings us to the music. There's no insidiously infectious mega hit here like Let It Go, but Moana's also not bogged down by needless crappy songs that nobody cares about like Frozen was either. They only break out into song when it's appropriate to help time skip the plot a little or introduce a character, and then they get right back into the movie. Even though they're not super memorable tunes or lyrics, I think the only song I didn't particularly care for was the villain song. And if you can hear the scare quotes in my voice, it's because there isn't much in the way of villains in this movie at all. They're more like talking obstacles than actual characters. Since this is ultimately a movie about a girl on a journey of self-discovery, that's okay. It might have been nice to have a Jafar type in here, but Moana's not really hurt from the lack of one. She's got plenty to do, just trying to convince Maui to help her save the world without having some big bad chasing her around. So the bottom line on Moana is it's just a ton of fun. There are a few moments that will pluck your heartstrings, particularly if you have a favorite grandma, but it's bright, it's colorful, it's full of smiles, and is buoyed by toe-tapping music, which makes it a great addition to the Disney animated catalog. If you got kids, by all means, make a trip to the theater. If you're an adult, I recommend making sure to go to the latest possible showing to avoid crying babies. Not sure what it is about my luck lately with inconsiderate theatergoers, but apparently some people think that just because it's a kid's movie, that means nobody will mind if you let your baby cry and fidget through an 8 o'clock showing. Toddlers I can understand, but if your kid is so young you still have to carry it around, it might be better to get a babysitter or something, eh? Anyway, those are my thoughts on Moana. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And since it's a Disney movie, feel free to drop your favorite one down there as well. And if you'd like to put some wind in my sails, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to my channel.